Hey everyone, Yoyston here, and I hope you all are doing well wherever you are in Middle-earth. Today's video is coming pretty much unscripted to you with some kind of breaking news from today that I wanted to discuss and just speculate about because I'm really excited. We got some great news today, and no, I didn't win the lottery. No, I didn't just get a brand new car or anything. Better than all of those things, we are getting a new Lord of the Rings game. Honestly, that is sweet, right? So let's jump into it. I saw all of this going around on Twitter earlier, or X, earlier today, in that a new Lord of the Rings video game is in development, aiming to specifically compete with Hogwarts Legacy. If you're not familiar with Hogwarts Legacy, it's a game from a few years ago, 2023, where you play as a wizard in the Harry Potter universe, and it's kind of apart from the Harry Potter storyline and characters and so forth, but you pretty much play as a wizard and you go through its own story set in the world of that. Funny enough, my significant other, my fiance, she's actually been, she's going through Hogwarts Legacy recently, and I've helped her with a few boss fights and things here and there. And so I've kind of, even just yesterday, saw a lot of Hogwarts Legacy as a game, and it looks pretty sweet. Now, to be entirely honest, the Harry Potter franchise is still something I need to get more into, so I don't know too much about it. Other than the fact that I know a lot of people like it, and the magic systems and all the characters and the monsters and all of that kind of stuff are pretty sweet. So if this game is aiming to compete with that game, oh man, that is going to be awesome. So obviously we don't have the title, we don't have the story behind it yet. There's a lot of money apparently going into this game. According to this Gamespot article, which I'll link in the description, there is around, at least according to rumors and sources close to the project, around $100 million US coming in from, at least in part, from the Abu Dhabi Investment Office. And so again, this is meant to be a third-person action game designed to compete with Hogwarts Legacy. And that just sounds amazing. The last kind of game that we got like this, again, putting Lord of the Rings Online aside, and it doesn't, it's an MMO, right? So it doesn't quite fit in this genre of RPG style, storytelling, God of War kind of thing, is Shadow of War, right? So 2017 was the last time that we got something exactly like this, and oh my goodness, we've been waiting, right? Later on in the article, it says how, before this was announced, Embracer, which is a game company, right? So it's a company that owns the rights to the Lord of the Rings games and other extensions of that series, according to this article. The head of Embracer said how he wants there to be a renaissance of Lord of the Rings games. And that is, I couldn't agree more. This is so exciting. I've been waiting for a game like this. Something of a return to form when it comes to the fun gameplay of Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more closely tied to the lore than those games were. But even if it's not, putting that aside, something fun to really get back into Middle-earth with. So part of what I wanted to do in this video is just speculate. What could that be, right? And so if we're looking at the Hogwarts Legacy game as a bit of a comparison, again, it's not a Harry Potter game, so I don't know if this would be technically a Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring game, or if it would be in a story set aside, maybe even created from whispers in the lore, such as War in the North, something going back to that. But we have definitely a lot of options, as I've talked about in other videos. So if we're looking at the same world, Middle-earth, at a different time period, this could easily be something like the Angmar War. This could even be something like The Hobbit, if we're doing something different. I don't think so. I don't think they'll do an action RPG of The Hobbit. But War of Angmar and Arnor would be an absolutely great one, where you're fighting against the Witch King and the forces of his from the north and all of these monsters trying to take him down with the aid of the elves and so forth. It could even be a Second Age game. I don't really know where this is at in terms of production right now, but we keep hearing off and on that there's another Lord of the Rings MMO set set whenever. That's also been in development for a long time. I can't remember if it's been canceled since the last time I saw an update for this, but who knows if that will ever actually reach us. So they could absolutely do something in the Second Age, trying to get on board the hype train that Rings of Power is trying to do with regards to Tolkien's other lore. Again, Rings of Power, it's its own conversation, but maybe they're trying to get on that sort of wavelength, doing Lord of the Rings or Middle-earth stories set in Middle-earth a long time before the Lord of the Rings. But it could be that. It could be, I don't know, like, I have a feeling they're going to continue the trend of playing as like a human fighter, because that's just so neutral. If they wanted to go out on a limb, I mean, Fall of Moria or the War of the Dwarves and Orcs, or even like the Dwarves and Dragons could be fun, of playing like as a dwarf going through. But with Return to Moria recently, again, another Lord of the Rings game, but not quite in this genre. That's more of an open world sandbox survival game more than it is like a true RPG. But if this is, like a third person RPG style game, it could be something like that. Or even the War of the Elves and Sauron in the Second Age. That would be awesome. That'd be so cool. You've got plenty of wars to choose from. Gondorian Civil War, Gondor's wars with the East and with the South. You could do something along those lines. It could even be, like a White Council. So when I was young, right, well, not that long ago, I guess. Depends on who you are. But back in the 2000s, right, the mid to late 2000s, there were rumors of this game that was in development called the White Council. And that was this idea of playing, I believe, as members of the White Council, or at least as Gandalf, going through dealing with these matters of high importance. So it could be something like that, picking those threads back up, but I doubt it. I'd bet they would go with some sort of, you're a ranger adventuring through, fighting, Angmar, or I don't know. It could even be an action RPG set truly in Erebor, Dale, Mirkwood during the Lord of the Rings, during the War of the Ring. That would be another cool one to explore. Something like that would be awesome, right? So who knows what they have the rights to, but I just wanted to get on and kind of speculate, because this is exactly what we need. Listen, I really liked Return to Moria, and I'm excited to play their DLC when that comes out, and hopefully collaborate with some of my other friends and channels in doing that. The Tales of the Shire game from a few months ago, I feel like great for people that like that style of games. It's not quite my style. The Gollum game was, the Gollum game. Again, also not my style of game, but I liked its story, I guess, its overall attentiveness to the lore. But I totally understand that was pretty much a flop. So it's been a while since we've gotten a really exciting, great Lord of the Rings RPG. Obviously, I really like Lord of the Rings Online, but even that, it's getting away from the main story, recent expansions, recent updates. We're just getting further and further away from what we know about Lord of the Rings and Middle-earth, I feel like. So this kind of return to form, return to the core of whether it's Eriador or Rovanion or even Gondor or Rohan or something like that would be absolutely awesome. So yeah, my friends, there's the news. Hopefully this has been kind of fun to listen to and speculate about, but I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. Let me know what you all think about this in the comments below. And thanks for tuning in. I was going to work on my next regular video tonight, but I think I'll push that back, and this just seems a little bit more newsworthy and important. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, share this with a friend. Thank you so much to our partners, right? If you want to support the channel, Mythologie Candles and Castle Cons, Lord of the Rings replicas, check out our second channel, Masters of Mythology, and all the rest. Thanks to our Valar tier patrons and YouTube members for keeping the channel going. Joby Weasel, Ed Patterson, Comic Nut 64, Zoomi, and Peter Sheppard. Best way to support the channel is looking into our merch, Patreon, and YouTube memberships. My friends, thank you all for everything you do. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for joining me on this adventure. Until the next one.